Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to A Level and AP Physics. In today's lesson, we will discuss past paper questions from May June 2025 paper 4. As always we do, we will discuss these questions in detail so you can improve your conceptual understanding of physics and also you can have better understanding of these exam questions. Let's study together, let's improve together. Question 11 says a proton enters a magnetic field as shown in the figure. Part A says the proton experiences a force of 6.5 times 10 to negative 13 newtons due to the magnetic field. Calculate the speed of the proton and the magnetic flux density is given to us. So in this case, first of all, we need to understand is that this is the magnetic force. So this is magnetic force. So how do we calculate magnetic force? Fe. This is equal to QVB sine of theta. And theta is the angle between B and this is the angle between V. Now in this case, magnetic field is out of the page. So magnetic field is out of the page and proton is moving this way. So you can simply imagine like this. Magnetic field is out of the page, means it's towards me. So it's like this. It's towards me and proton is moving to the right. So what is the angle between these two? Angle is 90 degrees. Very important one. So angle is 90 degrees. Now simply we can plug in values. So in this case, V should be equal to F divided by QB sine of 90 degrees. So what is value of F? That is 6.5 times 10 to negative 13 divided by the charge on proton. That is 1.6 times 10 to minus 19 and value of B is 4.52 and sine of 90 this is 1. Now if we solve this one, we will get 7.81 times 10 to 6 meters per second. So it means proton is moving at very high speed, 10 to 6 meters per second. So this is how we can answer. Now let's go to the second part. For the second part, we need to draw on the diagram above the path of the proton in the magnetic field. So this is our proton. So we can say this is our positive charge. So now first of all, we need to find out what is direction of force on the proton at this point. So the velocity of the proton is, so we have to use over left hand. So V is represented by the middle finger. So V is to the right. And magnetic field is represented by index finger and this has to be out of the page. So you can move your hand like this. So the force on the proton, you will see this force is in downward direction. Now the question is that how this particle will move. So the force on this one is here is down. So this proton will go like this. Let me redraw this for better understanding. So this proton will go down. It will experience force. So it will go like that in the circle. So this is how you need to. If you have drawn this one, you will get to mark. So which hand we are using? Left hand. Fleming's left hand rule you have to use here. Question 12 says a student investigated collisions using 3 spheres. The student rolled a sphere of mass 35 grams into 2 stationary spheres, each of mass 37 grams, as shown in the figure. During the collision, the rolling sphere was brought to rest, and the 2 stationary spheres began to move apart at an angle theta, as shown in the figure. Determine the value of angle theta. Now, first of all, we need to understand is that this is 2-dimensional collision. So in 2-dimensional collision, sum of momentum along x direction before collision is equal to sum of momentum along x-axis after collision. And this is also true for the y direction. So we can treat momentum along x-axis and momentum along y-axis separate. So this is just like 1-dimensional. So in this case, it is given to us the initial momentum is along x-axis and this initial momentum along x-axis before collision has to be equal to the final momentum along x-axis due to these 2 spheres. So in this case, this is x component of this sphere, x component of momentum, and for this one also there will be x component. So we can redraw x component of for the top one. So we have 2 x components along this direction. Of course, they also have components along y direction as well. So this is for this one, it has y component, and this one also have y component in this time. And these two also have to be equal in magnitude. So this is the basic understanding of the problem. Now, how we can answer this question? To answer this question, simply we can use momentum along x direction before collision has to be equal to sum of momentums along x direction after collision. So we can simply use this principle to answer this question. So what is momentum along x-axis before collision? So we have the speed and we have the mass. So we can simply say this will be equal to 0.40 times this mass, 35 grams. So this is 35 times 10 to minus 30. So this is the momentum before. And after Coulomb, as the speed is the same, so it means we have two components, and we can write down first of all 37 times 10 to minus 3 times speed 0.21, and the angle is half. This total angle is theta. So this angle will be theta by 2. So we can say this is theta by 2. So we have cosine of theta by 2 plus we need to add x component of this sphere as well, and that one is equal to again 37 times 10 to minus 3 times 0.21 time cosine of theta by 2. Theta is also the same. So we can also simplify this one now. We can simply write down 0.40 times 35 times 10 to minus 3. This is equal to simply 2 times of 37 times 10 to minus 3 times 0.21 times cos of theta by 2. Now cos of theta by 2 we can write down here. So this is cos theta by 2. This will be equal to 0.40 times 35 times 10 to minus 3 and divided by this whole. Otherwise the better way is we can simplify here. So the better way we can simplify here. So we will get 0.20. So you can simplify as well to save a little bit time. So this one will be cancelled. So here is 0.2. So this is 0.2. So in denominator we have 37 times 10 to minus 3 times 0.21. Now if we solve this one, we will get value of theta that will be equal to 51.6 degrees. So it means angle is about 52 degrees. We can say 52 degrees. So this is final answer. So this is how you can calculate.
Question 13 says the student placed two magnets on a top band balance. The student clamped a metal wire horizontally in the uniform magnetic field between the magnets as shown in the figure. The student connected the ends of the metal wire to a battery and an ammeter and a switch. When the switch was closed, the reading on the ammeter was 3.1 amperes. The reading on the balance increased by 0.45 grams. The length of the metal wire in the magnetic field was 40 millimeters. Calculate the magnetic flux density in the region between the magnets. So this question is about magnets. Now for this question it is given to us. The reading increased by 0.45. It means this is magnetic force. This is value of magnetic force. 0.45 grams. So this is 0.45 times 10 to minus 3 grams. And so we need to convert this one into weight. So multiply by 9.81. So this is the force. F is equal to BIL sine of theta. Now here it is very important to understand that we need to consider L inside the magnetic field. So this has to be inside the magnetic. Very important one. So some tricky questions, they are focused on this concept. Inside the magnetic field. Not the total length of the wire. The length of the wire that is inside the magnetic field. And B is the external magnetic field. So this is external magnetic field. So we can say B is external magnetic field. And I is current passing through the wire. Another way to write this equation is we can say BIL sine of theta. So what is this representing? What is L sine of theta? This is telling us the length of the wire inside the magnetic field and perpendicular to the magnetic field. So it means we can say BIL, and this L is L perpendicular to the magnetic field. Only perpendicular component matters. Very important concept. Some tricky questions are based on this concept. Now let's try to answer this question now. So we need to find out B in this case. So we can rearrange, we can write down B has to be equal to F divided by I times L times sine of theta. But in this case, angle between magnetic field and current is 90 degrees. So sine 90 is 1. So we can write on here 0.45 times 10 to minus 3 times 9.85. So this one is the force. Now we have value of I current passing through the wire, that is 3.1 ampere, and the length of the wire in the magnetic field is given, that is 40 millimeter. 40 times 10 to minus 3, and sine of theta, sine 90 is 1. So let me rewrite here. So angle is 90 because magnetic field is into the page or out of the page. Into the page or out of the page, and current is to the right or to the left. So it means that angle is 90. So sine 90 is 1. So here we can say sine 90 is equal to 1. Now if we solve this one for B, we will get 0.0356 Tesla. So this is our final answer. So this is the answer. So we can also write on this one up to SF. Our answer will be 0.436 Teslas. Question 14 says the omega minus baryon was discovered in 1964 when a negative pion meson was observed to collide with a stationary proton. The omega was produced in the following reaction. The omega minus equation is given to us. We need to state the quark structure of a meson. State the quark structure of a meson. A meson consists of a quark and antiquark. So simply we can say a quark and an antiquark. This is structure of meson, consists of quark and antiquark. For the second part, we need to explain the law of conservation of baryon number and the law of conservation of charge are obeyed in this reaction. Now if you look at this equation, so we can say baryon number. So let me write on here how baryon number is conserved in this case. This is meson, so baryon number is equal to 0. Proton is a baryon, so its baryon number is equal to 1. Omega minus is also a baryon, so its baryon number is 1. Kaon is a meson, its baryon number is 0, and K0 is also meson, so its baryon number is also equal to 0. Now if we look at the charge, so we look at charge of minus kaon, this is equal to minus 1, and charge of proton, this is equal to 1, and charge of omega minus, this charge is plus 1, and charge of positive kaon, this is plus 1, and charge of zero kaon, neutral kaon, this is equal to 0. So the baryon number is conserved, so we can say this is conserved, and this is also conserved. So this is how we can answer. Part B says before its discovery, the mass of the omega minus was predicted to be 2.9714 times 10 to negative 27 kgs. The most recent accepted value for the mass of omega minus is 1672 mega electron volt per c squared. Calculate the percentage difference between these two masses. So first of all, we can write down the accepted value. I mean, this is the actual value. You can also say accepted value or the actual value. This is equal to 1672 mega electron volt per c squared. We need to find the percentage difference. So how we can find percentage difference? To find percentage difference, we have to divide by accepted value. So we can say we have to divide this one accepted value because we need to find a percentage difference with accepted value. So we have accepted value. So here has to be the difference between accepted value and estimated value, minus we can say estimated or predicted value, as the question is saying predicted. So we can say predicted value. So predicted value, which was based on calculations, multiplied by 100. Now simply we need to plug in these values here. This value we have, this is 1672, minus we don't have this value, so we need to figure out, and we need to divide by 1672 multiplied by 100, and finally we will get our answer here. This one will be the percentage. Now as this is in mega electrons, we also need to convert this one into mega electrons. So first of all, simply we can say that E has to be equal to mc squared. And if we solve this one, we will get answer in joules. So we can write down 2.9714 times 10 to negative 27, and this is multiplied with 0.0 times 10 to 8 square. So if we solve this one, we will get 2.674 times 10 to negative 10 joules. This is in joules now, but we need to convert this one into electrons. To convert this one into electrons, you can rewrite this again. 2.674 times 10 to minus 10. We need to convert into electron volts. So simply we need to divide by 1.6 times 10 to minus 19. We need in mega. So we need to multiply with 10 to 6 aspect. So now our answer will be in mega electron volts. If we solve this one, we will get 1671.4 mega electron volts. So this is estimated value. So we can say this is a estimated value. Now simply we need to plug in this value and we can find the answer. So let me explain you one thing. 1 electron, this is also given in the data, is equal to 1.6 times 10 to minus 19. This is very important number you need to understand. Now simply we can plug in values. So we have 1671.4. So if we solve this one, we will get 4.036%. So we can convert this one up to 1 SF, so this will be 4.04%. So this is our final answer. If you leave the answer up to here, this is also correct. This is up to 2 SF. This is up to 1. Part C says the photograph shows tracks produced by particles in a particle detector where a kaon, negative kaon, collided with a stationary proton. The tracks produced by the kaon, positive kaon, and omega minus are labeled. Explain how evidence from the photograph shows that a kaon 0 was also found from the photo. So first thing we need to understand is that why the particle should be kaon 0. Kaon 0 means that the particle, because we do not see any other track, it means another particle emitted is neutral. So that can be kaon 0. So this is one thing we need to understand. Now we can understand this one based on conservation of momentum. As this particle only has momentum in one direction, but these particles, they have momentum in two directions. It has part of component along this track, and it has also momentum in this direction because it is bending. So we can say it has momentum in this direction, but it also has momentum in this direction. So we can say horizontal component momentum, if we take up is positive, so there must be to the right. So it has momentum to the right. To conserve this one, there must be momentum in the opposite direction. That has to be to the left. So we can simply draw an arrow here. So there must be another particle that is moving somehow like this. And this particle is kaon 0 to conserve the momentum, because this has only momentum in upward direction, but omega minus, this has momentum to the right, component momentum. So there must be momentum to the left. So this particle should be moving like this. So these are the points we need to understand. So this question has 3 marks. If we talk about these 3 points, you will get 3 marks. First of all, you can say there is no track. It means the emitted particle is neutral, because neutral particle, they do not leave track. Then we can say as omega minus and k plus, they have momentum in 2 dimension, their momentum to the right. To conserve that one, there must be another particle that has component momentum, so to conserve the momentum. So these points we need to write down in our answer. If this makes sense to you, now let me show you how you can write down a proper answer. So this is how you can write down the answer. So first thing you need to include is neutral particles do not leave track. I mean, this point has to be in the answer, so you will get 1 mark. Second mark, if you have given reference of momentum, conservation momentum, initial momentum has to be equal to the final momentum. So the momentum of kaon minus has to be equal to momentum of omega minus, omega k plus, and k0. So this is k0. So momentum has to be conserved. There must be a neutral particle going off to the left, as the omega minus and k plus go off to the right, as we discussed before. So these points should be in the answer. I mean, you have to mention these points as least in the answer. And this is how you can write down a proper answer. So this is how you need to write. So we can say the visible tracks show two particles curving away from the brilliant point. For momentum to be conserved in the plane of the photograph, a third unseen particle must have been created with momentum in the opposite direction. As Gion is neutral, therefore does not ionize the detector material to leave a track. So this is the answer. This is the answer, and these are 3 points you need to include in your answer. So these 3 points you need to include.